gas in the tank. Cody's got gas in the tank. Yeah! Crowd said he's too old, that the spark was long gone, but he's hitting bombs in the Bronx, proving them all wrong. With Judge swinging thunder and Cody bringing heat, the AL better tremble. These Yanks won't face defeat. Cody's got gas in the tank. He's back from the brink, yanking the crank. Legends never die, they just reload and flank. Can you feel that? That's a Goldie tank. Yeah, he's got gas in the tank. They counted him out. Now he's counting bases. Welcome to New York, Goldie. Let's ride!
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy. And unfortunately, the Yankees drop another one, man. We lose 7-5 to the Tampa Bay Rays. We drop 2 out of 3 to another AL East team. I mean, look, from the get-go, when they put out the lineup, I was like, man, this is not going to be a good day. So let's start with that, man. Let's start with the mediocre lineup. The mediocre lineup, man. Let's look at this lineup, because this lineup was straight booty cheeks, bro. Let me tell you. Straight ass cheeks. Let me switch over here. All right. So we had, 1 through 4, okay. We had Grisham leading off, Judge batting second, playing DH, Bellinger batting third, Goldschmidt batting fourth, Dominguez batting fifth. Cool, right? I'm okay with that. I'm all for that. But this is where it starts getting a little questionable. Then you get J.C. Escarra batting sixth. Why? I have no idea. Pablo Reyes starting at second base. Why? I have no idea. I thought we were gonna play Vivas. I thought that was the thing, right? Didn't Boone say that he's gonna see a lot of playing time with Chisholm being hurt and all? But for whatever reason, he wasn't in the lineup, and that ends up hurting us later. And I'll explain that in a second. So you had Pablo Reyes batting seventh, Oswaldo Cabrera batting eighth, and then Oswald Peraza batting ninth. Right? They decided to give Ben Rice the day off, which I wasn't mad at, right? I wasn't mad at Ben Rice getting a day off. He has been kind of slumping the past few games, so why not give him a day off? Austin Wells, I get it. He's a catcher. He can't catch every day. So I'm cool with that, right? But if you look at that bottom of the lineup, Peraza, Cabrera, even though Cabrera's already he's getting to veteran status. He's been around for a while, but still, he's still a young guy. Peraza, Cabrera, Pablo Reyes, J.C. Escarra. And I'm going to put Dominguez in there because Dominguez is not experienced either. And then you got Will Warren pitching. So we got 6 guys who probably could be in AAA, Look, let's face it, man. Yeah, as soon as I saw the lineup, I was like, we in for a long night, especially with Will Warren pitching. You need some runs whenever he's out there. So it was a tough. I wasn't feeling the lineup at all, man. It feels like a punt lineup. I get it, Volpe. He hurt his shoulder, so I already knew Peraza was gonna be in there. But I would like to see more Vivas, man. The dude, he looks disciplined at the plate. He got a great eye. I like the way he's competitive up there. He got that little Soto, not the shuffle, but he stares the pitcher down and gives him that, like, nah, you ain't fooling me with that pitch. So I want to see more of the guy, right? He ends up coming in later. We'll talk about that. But first, let's go to Will Warren. I don't know about this guy, man. I'll be honest with you. Let me go back over here. I'll be honest with you. Will Warren has not looked good the past few outings. He just seems like every time he goes up there, he gets himself into trouble. Granted, the defense did not help. Peraza made an error. It did not help. Put him in a bad spot. But it seems like you're just not gonna get much out of him whenever he's at the mound, man. So Will Warren, his ERA is 5.65 now. He took the loss. Let me look at his stats on the day. He pitched 4 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, gave up 5 runs. 3 of them were earned. 3 walks. The walks killed this guy. He had 8 strikeouts, so that's good, right? 8 strikeouts, but and gave up 1 home run to the Jonathan Arande. He hit a bomb. Arande was pretty much like half their offense today. And yeah, I mean, I don't to be honest, I don't know what to expect from this dude. Look, man, he right now he's our Clark Schmidt is our third starter, but when Clark Schmidt was hurt, Will Warren was our third starter. Even as a fourth starter, even as a fifth, this is a guy that you put in there whenever you need a sixth man to come in to the rotation for whatever reason. It's just the Yankees rotation, man, is in shambles right now. Between him, Cookie Carrasco, and even Will Warren, he hasn't shown me that he could do it this year so far, but we're gonna give him time. We're gonna give him some more time. But yeah, Warren, man, he ain't it, bro. He ain't it. He looks so good during spring training. But that's why I say, man, I take spring training with a grain of salt. I really take it with a grain of salt because it's spring training, man. You got a bunch of minor leaguers up there. The players are still ramping up. Pitchers are still ramping up. So you don't whatever anybody does in spring training, you really can't take it as like, like, oh, this guy's the guy and everything like that. Sometimes it pans out and it carries over into the season, but more often than not, it doesn't carry over into the season. D-Train says Warren needs to be sent down. He is not ready yet. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, he's a guy that you bring in when you need a sixth starter. Like yesterday, we had Yarbrough pitching. To be honest, man, I'm to the point where I kind of trust Yarbrough more than I trust him. Um, so he needs to get it together because he has some decent outings, like 1 or 2 of them were decent, but he just seems like, man, he falls apart. He gives up a walk here and there. Next thing you know, an error, and he just can't get out of the trouble. But look, that's I get it, man. He did not pitch his greatest, right? Gave up 3 earned runs, 5 runs total. Um, but still, at that point when he was pitching, the Yankees had done nothing. We had put up no runs on the board, so I mean, it's tough for a pitcher, I guess. Maybe if the Yankees had some runs up there, he'd feel a little better, feel like he could make a mistake and not feel like he has to be perfect, but whatever, right? So he comes out, right? Then they bring out Matzek, however you say his name. This guy, he's the guy you bring out when it's a blowout or it's a doubleheader or something. When they brung him out, I get it, the bullpen is kind of depleted right now, but I was like, man, it was still a ball game. It was still a ball game. The Yankees had put up a couple runs. I think Bellinger hit a home run. It was like 5-2 at this point. So I'm like, we still in this. He brings him out. He gives up 4 hits, pitched 1 1/3 inning, gives up 4 hits, a walk, but he didn't allow any runs. So he did his job, right? And then we get Cookie Carrasco out of the bullpen. Today was an interesting day all around. My dog is at the door. It was an interesting day all around, man. Cookie Carrasco comes out the bullpen. He pitches 3 innings, gives up 5 hits, 2 earned runs. Struck out 3, but come on, dude. And that was pretty much it right there, man. Like that hurt us, and the Yankees we couldn't recover. We ended up scoring some runs later on, which we're gonna get into the 8th inning, where I felt like we had a rally in us, like we could have came back, but some mismanagement on Boone's part. And I've been defending Boone a lot this year. I've been defending him a lot, but this one, he gotta take it on the chin, man. It was just a bad move. D-Train says, honestly, his ceiling is at most a bullpen guy, Will Warren. Yeah, man, he's still young, but I don't see it in him either, man. Felt like Boone punted his game in hopes for a more favorable matchup against San Diego. Yeah, I'm starting to think that too, man. That whole Clark Schmidt side soreness, I think that was all fugazi, bro. I think they was just like, you know what? We don't want Will Warren to go up against we don't want him or Carrasco going up against San Diego because they're gonna hit them hard. So let's get our 3 best pitchers. And we're gonna get into that later against the matchups versus the Padres, which is gonna be a real test for the Yankees. This is probably the toughest team we face so far. But let's go back to that 8th inning, right? So in the eighth inning, bases loaded, JC Escarra coming up to the plate, right? Mind you, right? At this point too, he had he pinched hit Vivas for Pablo Reyes, right? So now Vivas is in the game. Pablo Reyes is out. That's it. Now the only people we have on the bench that's available is two catchers and Ben Rice and Austin Wells. And that's it because Volpe, I guess he's unavailable. He got hurt yesterday. So even though the x-rays came out negative and all that stuff, and we'll talk about that next, right? But he's unavailable for the game. So now you have no position players left. So he decides at this point, as soon as the bases are loaded, I'm thinking, yes, Ben Rice is coming to the plate, right? I mean, anybody would think that. I'm thinking Ben Rice is coming to the plate. I don't care if he gotta play third, whatever gotta happen, he's gotta catch. Ben Rice is coming to the plate, and if he can't do it right after him, I'm having Wells right there. I don't care where I gotta put these dudes to play, but I need these two guys to bat up, right? With the bases loaded, a chance to tie the game at that point. No, Boone lets Escarra bat, and the dude hits into a double play. Why he let him bat is beyond me, dude. That's just look. Let me tell you something. I don't care who you are, bro. You don't even have to have the best baseball mind or whatever, dude. There is no excuse for having him bat there. There's just none. There's just no excuse for that, man. There's no excuse. And we're gonna listen to his post game interview, because I listened to a little bit of it, and the excuse he gave is just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. There's no excuse for having them bat right there. Look, I get it. Maybe Ben Rice goes to bat, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe he hits into the same double play. It doesn't matter though. You get your best bat that's available at the moment right there. You have him bat there, and worry about positioning players later, bro. It don't matter. You're losing at this point. He doesn't, man. He lets him bat. He pinches. He hits into a double play, and then he ends up bringing him Ben Rice anyway. You know, it was just so weird, man. It was just so weird, and then he brings in Austin Wells to catch. Sits Ben Rice down, and then has JC Escarra playing third. But none of this would have ever happened if he would have just started Vivas from the beginning. Vivas ended up coming through with a big a 2-run hit too. But he should have just had him start from the beginning, bro. If you don't have enough faith in Pablo Reyes that you had to bring in Vivas, that you rather see his bat in there than Pablo Reyes, then he shouldn't even been playing at all. And I'll be honest, man. And look, I got nothing against the dude, but I question, why is he even on the roster at some time? Like, really? Can somebody explain that to me? I have no idea, man. Look, I've seen enough of Vivas in the 2 games that we've seen him play. I've seen enough of him at the plate to know that he's a better at bat there. He has a better eye. He doesn't really chase out the zone, and so I'm good. Even his defense looks way better to me. His arm, everything, it looks like the dude's a solid player. And at that point, he should have been starting. So what happened is Boone shot himself in the foot when he brung in Vivas to replace Pablo Reyes, because now he had no position players. So I'm thinking that he was thinking he got to let JC Escarra bat, because if he replaces him, but even then, either way you spin it, bro, there's no either way you spin it, bro. Ben Rice or Austin Wells, but preferably Ben Rice, should have been batting with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. Hands down. There was no outs. He should have been batting. It's bro, to be honest, that's incompetence, man, right there. That's just like, are you even trying to win? That's how I see it. Are you even trying, bro? It makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense. And I've heard all the content creators talk about it. I've heard all the beat writers talking about, all the articles are coming out now, and there's no way you could spin it where it makes sense. It just doesn't. It just does not, man. And I've been defending Boone all year because I really haven't had a problem with him. But this is the stuff, right? This is the stuff that really kills us. This is the game one of the World Series, bringing in Nestor Cortez instead of Tim Hill. This is those kind of moves, man, where you just really don't have a feel for the game at all, bro. At all. What are you doing? It was terrible, bro. Terrible. Let's listen to what Boone had to say, because I haven't heard the whole thing, so we'll listen to it together. I'm curious to see, you know, what was his reason for that.
What did you think of Warren today? Why did he struggle a little bit out there?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't make a play behind him. Gave up the homer to,
Talking about Will Warren.
or did he give up the homer around? Aranda. Lau got him the other way, with us kind of shifted over, and then just kind of got a little bit singled to death. Still few too many walks, and at the end of the day, we didn't control the bottom of the order well enough today. They kind of hurt us and really set them up to dent the scoreboard.
You guys did try to make a run there in that eighth inning. Any thought of
Here we go.
pinch hitting for
Let's see what he says
Escarra in
about
that
this.
situation?
No, not with no outs. We're staying away from Anthony, so I got really I'm choosing between Escarra and Vivas there, and
Yeah, but hold on. That's because you started Pablo Reyes. He should have never been starting from the get-go. You put yourself in a bad spot. You put yourself in a bad spot. And at that point, once you started him, you got to have a position player on the bench that you could bring in if something happens. But you messed up when you brung him in for Pablo Reyes, and whether you brung him in for defense, which is what I'm thinking, when you brung in Vivas for Reyes, whatever, if it was for defense or if it was because his bat, either way, he just should have been starting then from the get-go. He should have been starting. Why do we have to give Reyes at bats? Why? This dude might not even be on the roster by the time the season's over. Like, let's face it, guys. Let's be honest. He might not even be on the roster before the season's over. So why do we have to play him? Why not play the guy who's, coming up through the system, the guy who we want to build his value, because you never know, he could be on the roster or he could be a good trade piece. And I'm talking about Vivas. Why not, right? Why Pablo Reyes? Why? That's somebody who we can't trade. We can't really use. Either he's gonna step up in a big way and produce, or he's gonna get DFA'd at some point. Like, let's be honest. Come on. I don't see him, and I could be wrong, but by the end of the season, you tell me, you think he's on the roster? Really? With DJ coming back, Stanton coming back, really? Is he on the roster? So why do we gotta give him at bats? Why? I don't get it. I really don't, man. But let me rewind this for a second. Look, and I get it, Boone, because look, man, why can't you just say, you know what? Thinking about it, I fucked up. Why can't you just say that I messed up? Is because the move I made earlier kind of handcuffed me, and I really couldn't do nothing. And I was thinking, if I put Ben Rice in, then who's gonna catch or who's gonna play third, whatever. What's good, Andrew? Or whatever it is. Why can't you just admit, like, yeah, hey, man, it happens. It was a bad call.
really I'm choosing between Escarra and Vivas there, and just going to take the guy that's been here and more experience. So I knew I had one shot with Rice there.
This dude said I'm gonna take the guy with more experience. What are you? Bro, I can't, man. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? More experience? What? Because he's old. Maybe he's old. Yeah, he's older, right? What are you talking about, bro? More experience? What? Like 2 games? He got 2 games more than Vivas, so he's more experienced. And what do you mean that you had to choose between him and Vivas? It don't matter, bro. You go with it. It don't matter if it was Vivas batting or if it was Escarra batting, if it was Cabrera batting. The bases are loaded with no outs. You have a chance to tie the game, to get back in the game. You go and you have one of your hottest, one of your hottest and your second most powerful hitter that's not hurt right now on the bench, ready to go. And you don't bring him in? Come on, bro. I don't care, bro. Look, man, I don't care what you say. That's a bad call. It just don't make sense to me, man. It doesn't. And it's frustrating, man, because this is the type of shit, right? Because we might brush it off today. It's like, whatever. It's only May 4th. Who cares, right? But this is the shit that happens later on in the season when it starts counting. And every game counts. But this is the stuff, man. There's no excuse. What are you talking about, bro? More experience. My man, JC Escarra, more experience. He played, I don't even know how many games he played, but he probably played like a handful of games this whole freaking season so far. But you make it seem like the dude's a fucking veteran. Excuse my language too. I don't mean to curse, man, but it's upsetting. It really is. Honestly, I was there. I could have sworn Ben Rice was coming to bat.
Then once the double play happened, that kind of shut that down a little bit. But then we got he was the tying run again there with Cabby. So no, not at that point with no outs. I was going to use him for Vivas.
And then just overall, again, you did get those late runs, but it seemed like Tampa Bay on the whole kind of kept this offense pretty much at bay. What do you make of that?
Baseball. Good. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, you look at the arms they run out against you, starting and relief. You got to be able to win some low scoring games too. And they held us down pretty well this series. Like the way we battled today to kind of work our way back in it with just being really short today. But obviously tough series where they were able to hold us down enough to get a couple.
Brian and Ron.
You also had Wells. You could have used Wells at some point there too,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, but I can't shoot both of them though because all I have is Escarra left. I got to kind of keep Escarra in the game or.
Yeah, but you fail to realize that the reason why all of this happened is because you started Pablo Reyes and you didn't have enough confidence in Pablo Reyes. You didn't have confidence in his defense and his bat that you ended up having to bring in Vivas prematurely. And then you were left with two catchers on the bench, bro. Two catchers. That's all you had. And somebody was gonna have to play third when you brung in Ben Rice for Oswaldo Cabrera. I'm trying to make sense, but this shit is like the Matrix to me, right? It's like it makes no sense, bro. I don't care which way you spin it. To me, and maybe I'm just not smart enough, right? But it just is retarded, bro. Like it just makes no sense. And you could talk your way around it all you want, Boone, but come on, man. That was just a bad management right there.
Then I can't shoot for Vivas either.
Ron.
Did Volpe try to talk you into letting them hit there at all?
No, but he was ready to go in, and if we got ahead in the game or something, I needed him for defense or running or something, we probably would have done it. But we're pretty disciplined to wanting to stay away from him today.
You're pretty disciplined for wanting to stay away from him today, but you left him out there yesterday when the injury happened. Man, come on, Boone. You were doing so good. You were doing so well, dude. I was this close to being like, you know what? That's my manager, bro. But nah, you losing me. You're losing me, Boone. You're losing me, bro. I don't get it. I just don't.
Dave.
Bro, they had 16 hits? Get the fuck out of here. They had 16 hits? It's crazy. We made 2 errors. What was the 2 errors? Oh, yeah. Dominguez, he misplayed a ball big time out there, too. I think that was the second error he got charged with. Let's continue.
So in that sense, you didn't want him swinging a bat today, I guess. Aaron, so did he do any of that before the game?
He
Swing
did.
a bat, or?
Yeah, he did dry swings and stuff in the training room, which went pretty well. But they wanted him to stay away from hitting unless we got in a situation where he had to go in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that was kind of the situation right there.
Greg, to the right.
You had Carrasco there in relief. Is that
I mean, you didn't even have to put in Volpe to hit. You could have put him in to play defense. I don't know. Let's see what he says about Carrasco.
just a one-off here with him not pitching that next series?
Yeah, I mean, just, obviously with Clark pulling up,
agree,
and then now Clark
D-Train.
inserts into his spot there on Tuesday. So, with how we've had to use the pen a little bit, we needed his length there. And, he picked us up, thought he did a good job there on his fourth day there, giving us 3 innings and kind of holding the line a little bit.
Eric.
Given what you said about Volpe, how realistic is he for tomorrow?
I would say it's realistic. I don't know if it's a yes or a no, but I think it's in play, and we'll talk about it. And I think in Anthony's mind, it's a yes.
I think that look, man, Volpe, that injury, I don't know, man. The X-rays and all that came out clean and all that, but look, man, if you're gonna sit him down another day, and we need Volpe, man. To be honest, we need him. But look, why not just put him on the 15-day? Just give him 2 weeks. Give him 2 weeks. Let it heal up. I'm just saying, man. Even though we're gonna need him versus the Padres, and we're gonna get into that later because the Padres are tough. They are tough, and this is the biggest test that the Yankees have faced so far. Coming up starting tomorrow versus the Padres.
Max.
Let's see a little bit more Boone.
Aaron, you spoke highly about Reyes throughout spring training, made the team.
There we go.
Sporadic playing time so far, but what have you seen from him, and how much confidence do you still have in him?
Yeah, a lot. I think.
Bro, that's the reporter asking him, like, why the fuck is he in the lineup, bro? He said it in a nice way.
I think he's got bat to ball. I think he's got life in the bat. Again, it's been very sporadic. He's probably played the equivalent of about 4 games, so that's tough to get a roll. I feel like if he can have that one at bat to kind of get him going, I feel like with his bat to ball, he can play a good role for us. So we just got to have him have that one at bat that kind of gets him over the hump. I feel like he's had some at bats where he's putting together.
If you felt that way, if you really, really, truly felt that way, then why would you take him out the game?
The 2-2, 3-2, laying off some tough pitches, and then just missing his pitch a little bit. Whether it's earlier in the count where he's fouling a pitch off or something where he's got to make hay.
Ron.
How much does Simpsons?
I thought he was gonna say Pablo bangs. Pablo can bang, right? I don't know, man. I don't like. I'll tell you what, man. I don't care how he spins it, man. To me, it made no sense. But what do I know, man? I'm just a guy sitting behind his computer right now. It just makes no sense, man. Like if that happened on a little league field, I'd be saying the same thing. Like, bro, what are we doing? You got your second best hitter, arguably, on the bench, ready to go. You got the bases loaded, no outs. You got a guy who's played, like he said, the equivalent of like 4 games in his career. And then you got a guy who's your second best hitter on the bench waiting to go, and you don't bring him in. And the biggest at bat of the game. That was the biggest at bat of the game. Let's hear what Judge says. On a good note, though, Belly hit a bomb, 2-run home run, his 200th of his career. So congratulations to Cody Bellinger. I know I give him a lot of shit. It's just, and I do it just out of love, man, because I want the dude I want him to be the Cody Bellinger that he was when he won MVP, to be honest. Even though we might never get that, but we really need him to step up, man. Judge can't do it all. He can't do it all. Let's hear what Judge has to say about all of this.
Aaron, how disappointing is it for this team to drop 2 or 3 to a division rival like the Rays?
It's tough, especially, a day like today, rubber match, a chance to win the series. And, kind of fall short, especially on the offensive side, not really getting things going. And, when we had chances, kind of fall short there. But, guys battled to the end and, gave ourselves an opportunity there at the end.
You mentioned the offense. It seems like the Rays always pitch you guys so tough. What is it about the pitching staff that really makes it difficult to score runs?
They got a really good pitching staff, from their bullpen to their starting pitchers. We just saw them, a week or two ago, so it was good to kind of see them recently. But they made some good adjustments and were able to kind of subdue us there the whole series. But time to bounce back and get ready for San Diego.
Yep.
What do you like about Vivas, Aaron?
Just electric at bats. Great job on defense. He can. Every swing, I feel like he's trying to take it to hit it out to the bleachers, but he'll take his walks when he needs to. He can hit it to opposite field with the best of them. So it's been impressive to see him. Past couple seasons, especially in spring training. So now to see him, come up, make his debut, get his first knock, that was pretty special.
Aaron, understanding nobody feels sorry for you guys. It's a phrase you used over the years when you guys have had injuries, but with Jazz out 4 to 6 weeks, what are you guys missing with him out?
He's just a complete athlete. He's a guy that can,
Judge, he's like a robot out there, man. He'll give you the textbook answer every time. And that's just who he is, man. He ain't gonna give you nothing. He ain't gonna give the reporters anything, man. But I know deep down he's like, man, we should have won this shit. I don't know what the hell we got going on with some of these dudes. The Yankees' depth is just terrible, man. It's bad. Bad, bad, bad. What are you doing? That's Roxy. She's yeah, man. But let's talk some Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe. I don't know. Boone didn't say much in his post game interview. He pretty much said like it's day by day right now. I'm sure if it's up to Volpe, he's gonna be like, yo, I want to play. But I think they gotta be smart. Look, a 15-day IL might not be the worst thing in the world, man. I get it that we need him, especially seeing Peraza out there. He did have a hit today, but he made an error. I don't know, man. And I'm a Peraza. I'll be back in Peraza. I want him to do good. And maybe he just needs more time, but I don't know. Sometimes he just doesn't look like he's ready, man, for the moment, because he got a big chance right now, especially if Volpe goes in the IL. This is Peraza's chance to really, really like make his mark. But he just seems like he's not ready for the moment. I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong because I like Peraza a lot. I like him a lot, but we'll see what happens. But with Volpe, I mean, the good thing is that all the tests came out negative, which is hard to believe because the way he was on the ground yesterday, and he said he felt the pop and everything in his shoulder, that's just not normal for everything to come out negative, except, right, they did throw this in there, except for stuff that was there from the past. What that is, I have no idea. And they don't really explain none of that stuff. The same thing with Clark Schmidt when they're like his side is sore. All right, but his side of what? Like his side of his toenail, like his finger, his side of his arm, the side of his ribs. What do you mean by that? But yeah, so they said that they saw some stuff that was there from the past. Whatever that means. I'm not a doctor. I'm not gonna pretend to be. I don't know. I know that all I know is what my eyes tell me, and the dude was on the ground in excruciating pain. Like you can tell, I felt it for him. He was in pain. And if you ever hurt your shoulder, I know I have. I mean, to this day, it's never been the same. Um, Man, that shit hurts, dude, and it lingers. It lingers. Even when you heal, when they like say like, okay, you're good to go, it's just never really right. Even look at Cody Bellinger. He had a shoulder injury, and it took him years to get back right, and he's never been the same since. To this day, he's not the same. So it's danger. Look, I'm not opposed to giving him 2 weeks. Giving him 15 days to just kind of chill. Maybe that's what he needs too. Even though he was batting a lot better. Maybe that's why he needs to just kind of decompress, get out the spotlight, and just get better. So we wishing Anthony Volpe a speedy recovery. Hopefully, and if he doesn't go on the IL and he comes back, I hope what I'm afraid of, right, is that he does have that lingering pain in there, right? And he starts laboring that, like just kind of avoiding certain things in his swing or whatever it is to try not to aggravate it or trigger it again. That's what we don't need, because then it's gonna really mess with him. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of faith in the Yankees medical staff, man. I know these guys are supposed to be the best in the world, but from recent history, a lot of botched things like the Anthony Rizzo injury, the whole deal with Stanton and everything. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of confidence in the Yankees medical staff. That's just me. That is just me. But let's talk about these Padres, man. Yankees about to go up against their biggest test so far, in my opinion. I know the Tigers are good, and we face some good pitching there, but they're about to go up against a team that's hot. They cooled off. They started off smoking hot, but they cooled off a lot. They cooled off a lot, and but the Padres are good, man. And we're facing Pavetta the first game, and he's been on fire. He's 5-1 with a 1.78 ERA. So he's gonna go up against Carlos Rodon, who's been lights out as of late for the Yankees. His ERA is 3.43. Even though I don't think the ERA does him justice, because it's just a couple home runs, a couple big home runs that he gave up, and his ERA could be easily 2, maybe even sub 2, you know. But he's going on. So let's see, man. Hopefully Rodon keeps that going, because we're gonna need it versus a guy like Pavetta, man. That he's rocking and rolling. The Padres are 22-11 on the season, and the Yankees are 19-15. They got 3 wins more than the Yankees. It's not much, but this is definitely a dangerous team and a dangerous lineup. So that's the pitching matchup for tomorrow. Pavetta versus Rodon. Then on Tuesday, we got Michael King, the ex-Yankee, the guy we traded for Trent Grisham, and the other guy who's now in Queens. And he's going up against Clark Schmidt. A lot of people feel like that Schmidt, the whole side sawing this thing, was BS, and they just did that to so that way he could have his start versus the Padres. Uh, Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But Clark Schmidt is 0-1 on the season. His ERA is 5.52. He has not looked great. Granny, he's coming off the IL. Still though, he hasn't looked great. And Michael King is 4-1. His ERA is 2.09. He's pitching his ass off. This is his walk year, so he's looking for a big check in the offseason. So he's trying to do his thing. Why is my dog barking? What are you barking at? Hey, wow. Sorry about that, guys. That's Roxy. She's somebody must be outside. So that's Tuesday's matchup. And then on Wednesday, we going up against Dylan Cease. He hasn't pitched great, man. This is the first time I'm looking at his numbers, but he hasn't looked good at all. He's 1-2 in the season. His ERA is 5.61, and he's going up against Max Fried, who's just, man, his numbers. He's 6-0. Max Fried is 6-0 with a 1.01 ERA. Crazy, man. I tell you what, this might be the toughest lineup he's faced. Let's look at the Padres numbers. I don't know. Let's see if I can pull that up. The Padres. D-Rels, what's up, man? D-Rels says, yo. Oh, I don't even have this up here. Oh, that ain't it. No. That's the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Let me try this one more time. See if that works. If not, I'll look it up here. But Max Fried, man, he's lights out. So that's probably our best matchup against the Padres. Max Fried versus Dylan Cease. Even though Dylan Cease is no joke, man. He's still no joke. We know what he could be. Yeah, he's been pitching bad, but he could just come out and freaking and really show out and be Dylan Cease, no hit Dylan Cease. All right, let's look at what Tatis is doing because Tatis has been on a roll. He's going to be playing. I know he got hit in the forearm the other day. I was talking about it last night. But Tatis is batting 328, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs. Base percentage 399, OPS. So he's having a crazy year right now. A great year. What's good, Jack Geezy? Hey man, y'all Dodgers fans, we're about to go up against the Padres, man. Let me know what we should be looking for. You guys are familiar with them. Let me look up Machado. D-Train says Tatis is having an MVP season. Machado's he's doing good too. 295, 3 home runs, 360 on base percentage, OPS is 819. He's having a good year. What about Jackson Merrill? I think I spelled that right. Let's see what Jackson Merrill's doing. My goodness. Jackson Merrill, he's definitely the real deal. This is his sophomore year, right? This is his second year. People saying, let's see what Jackson Merrill's a beast, man. A beast. Let me see those numbers one more time. I can't believe he's doing that good. I haven't really been paying attention. I know they've been winning. I watched the highlights and stuff, but I haven't really tuned into the Padres. He's having a great year, man. How many at bats he got though? That can't be right, man. Well, he got 3 home runs on him. It's crazy. So you guys see that, man? Their 3 stars right there are all playing well. So the Yankees, it's gonna be a tough. I think this is the biggest matchup that we've had so far. This is where we could kind of gauge where we at. Even though we got a lot of players that are hurt right now, but we could gauge where the current team, the current roster, we can kind of gauge, okay, can we really contend with some of these high caliber teams? D-Russ says, I miss players like Derek Jeter, the heart of the champion, and I'm a Met fan saying it. Yeah, man. Not only Jeter though, man, it was just a different vibe. The Yankees had a different vibe back then. I felt like even if you like you brung in just a regular player over there, they played better, you know. The Yankees just had like a winning mentality, man. And Jeter was a big part of that too. 'Cause he was the captain. He was a big part of that. A lot of it though was Joe Torre. A lot of it was George Steinbrenner. It just kind of from the top down. It was like we about winning. We're about winning. So if you can't produce, like it's no hard feelings, bro. But they got rid of you quick. They weren't playing no games. They did get swept by the Rays, man. That's what I'm saying. But they besides that though, man, they were on fire. They kind of cooled off versus the Rays. So this is still gonna be the biggest test, man. This is probably the toughest lineup. And then we've gone against some big time pitchers. I know the Tigers, to me, the Tigers were the biggest well, actually we faced the Giants too. The Tigers and the Giants, but I think the Padres are better than both those teams to me. They're hot, man. At one point it seemed like for like the whole month of April, they didn't lose at all at home. Granted, we playing in Yankee Stadium, but that was pretty impressive. And then they just kind of I don't know, they got swept by the Rays. D-Rose says exactly, bro. I say that all the time. D-Train says it was the owner, bro. We had a winning mentality. Yeah, man. And it just sometimes look, it starts from the top, man. It starts from the top and it works its way down. I'm not saying that these guys don't want to win. Obviously, they want to win. I don't know what it is, man, but it seemed like the last 10 years or so, it's just been I don't know. They say that it's championship or bust, but I don't feel like it really is, man. I just don't. I feel like they're okay with making it to the playoffs and getting knocked out. We've been embarrassed, man. Let me tell you something. Right. I know this is I'm gonna go off on a right. I wasn't expecting to talk. If you think about the Yankees past like 5 seasons, we've been embarrassed. Even yeah, we made it far, right? So let's say, right, last year we got embarrassed by the Dodgers. We already know the whole fifth inning from hell and whatever, right? We got embarrassed. The year before that, we didn't even make the playoffs, right? The year before that, we got swept by the Astros in the ALCS, I believe, right? Yeah. Yep. The year before that, we got beat by the Astros again in the ALCS. I don't know, man. It seems like we just always go down in heartbreaking fashion. It's just like, man, I can't believe it. And hopefully it changes. I tell you what, though, and I'll leave with this. This team right here, and look, people get mad at me for saying stuff like this, man, because they're like, "Oh, you're supposed to be a Yankee fan." Look, this team don't give me championship vibes. It just doesn't. When I look at that lineup and I see dudes like Pablo Reyes, nothing against Pablo Reyes, but when I see a name like that, when I see Will Warren pitching, Cookie Carrasco, and I see the Marcus Stroman and stuff like that, man, it don't give me good vibes, right? Like we could actually make it deep into October. So with that being said, before the trade deadline is up, Cashman really, really has to make moves. He's got to make some big moves. I'm not talking about bringing in 2 relievers we never heard of. Bringing in freaking. Last year he did good. He brought in Jazz Chisholm, even though Chisholm hasn't panned out the way we wanted it to. But like, it can't be one of those, man. Like if you really serious about winning, you gotta really make a splash in the trade deadline. And I get it. What's up, Jacob? I get it that it's gonna cost us. That's the hard part, man. Look, you know, we always want Cashman to make these trades, and sometimes he finagles a good trade here and there. Sometimes we always want these trades, but it's gonna cost us some prospects that we might not. A lot of fans don't want to give up, but that's the price, man. Or be happy with the roster we have now and hope that we can make it deep. So that's just how it works. Me, to be honest, I'm in the camp where, yeah, I like a lot of these prospects, man, and you know, I want to see them all come up and be Yankees one day. But at the same time, man, I don't want to wait 5 years for that, man. And Judge's window is closing very fast. Look, we seen what happened with Garrett Cole. He's hurt, right? These guys' windows is closing, man. They deserve a ring. These are 2 guys, Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge, guaranteed Hall of Famers at some point. And the only blemish on the back of their baseball card is that they never won nothing besides Cy Young and MVP and all that. But let's get them there. Let's get them there again. Let's get these guys a ring. And for the fans too, it's been long enough. It's been long enough. That's just my take on everything. But I appreciate you guys joining. Please, if you can, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, man, let's go Yankees, man. And it's gonna be fun. These next 3 games are gonna be really, really fun versus the Padres. My one request is that they keep Tatis away from our first baseman, because the last time he ran a first base like a madman and gave Anthony Rizzo a concussion. We don't need that. I'll take a few more chats here. They promoted George Lombard. He might be up. Yeah, I think they want to, but we don't want to rush him either. We don't want to rush him. I don't think he's ready yet, but we'll see. We'll see. He's been raking down there, so we'll see. Peace, Andrew. D-Train, thank you. Jacob, thank you for joining. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's sweep these Padres, baby. Let's sweep them. Have a great one, guys.